Well, greetings, everyone. We are about to step into the miraculous today. I have a good friend on. We're going to talk about how you can actually get information for yourself, how you can learn how to be mindful and consult the oracle. And you're going to love him when I bring him on. But before I do, just wanted to say a couple of things. Number one, thanks for being with us. I'm Joan of Angels. And if you like what we do, please like, subscribe, and share. Number two, if you're new to the channel, well, we're happy to see you. And please let us know where you're all from. All right. So, oh, yes. And the other thing I want to talk to you about is that this week we've been doing our soul awakening sessions, helping people remember who they are and why they're here. And you can find that out at our website, joanofangels.com, where you can also get your free ebooks on how to live your soul-filled purpose. All right. Well, that's enough about that. We are going to take a moment before I bring in Reverend Rob Lee, and I want everyone to just take a deep breath in with me. So it's always good to center in before we begin. So taking a deep breath and letting it all out. Good. And then one more time, taking a deep breath in and letting it all out. Mother, Father, God, we are so grateful that you all are with us. We are so grateful for the presence of the divine to help us understand, clarify, and step into our wisdom and our purpose. We're grateful for all of you, and we ask that that which is for our highest outcome manifest today for each and every one of you. So, guys, I'm about to tell you a little bit about Reverend Rob Lee. He utilizes an array of tarot cards, oracle cards, and pendulums. I'm going to show I have my pendulum right here for divination. And he also taps into his connection with spirit. He uses all of his clairsentience and his empathy to provide answers, clarity, and peace of mind to help guide you on the path to living a happy, fulfilled life and enjoying healthy relationships. And I have all of his links below. You're going to have an opportunity to find out about his classes, his tarot classes, his mindfulness classes, and we're going to find out who he is right now. Hello, Reverend Rob.
Why, hello, Miss Joan. How are you? Bangarang. What a day. What a day. What a beautiful day.
Well, it is a beautiful day. First of all, it is spring. It is April. We're just finishing up the full moon. And I have finally gotten Reverend Rob on the show, guys. I met Reverend Rob. I want to put those words together like won't work. Okay, but I met him about almost a year ago. And I swear I've been wanting to have him on my show ever since. And so I'm just really happy to see you here.
And
Really
I
appreciate
am
it.
grateful to be here. We missed to connect, and that was on me at the end of last year. You had reached out, and I had a whole bunch of wackiness going on. But I'm here. I'm back. I'm bad. Let's see what's happening.
You're back in
You
bed.
know?
It was so funny. It was like, I've been pretty busy, but it was like, no, I'm going to catch Rob. He reached out to me. I'm going to catch him right now for today's show. And so I want to start with this. How did you become this intuitive tarot with an attitude guy?
One of the things that's kind of a journey. I grew up the son of a Baptist minister, in the church, all this and everything else. So there were things I was always good at with my intuition, but I had nobody around to tell me what was doing things like that. As I grew, I got into police work really young. Um, and, the guys on the ambulance squad would call when they found out I was on. Are we having a sit down dinner? Or are we going to be running like crazy tonight? And I would take a minute and think and tell them, no, we're going to be a little busy. Let's make it fast. And sure enough, we were. My intuition was always there, but it was being stifled because different things were being told to me. And I had nowhere to go at that time for guidance. It's one of those things like tarot cards. I was always told they're evil, it's wicked, and all that kind of stuff. But I knew all along I had an ability, especially to talk to people, and I could hear my empathic abilities came alive, things like that. And it's one of those things where it just kind of grew And then as I got older and I separated myself from that background, I was able to learn, reach out, and just really tapped into this within the last 10 years of my life when I had an event with my father, who he and I did not get along. Um, and it was just like an opening. The angels came down. We were out in the middle of a soccer field, believe it or not. And the angels just told me, they're like, why are you fighting this? You know, this isn't you. This is him. You don't have to deal with this. And I looked at him and I said, I love you very much, but it must suck to be you right now, to be this miserable, this angry. And I was his only child, you know, just because I'm not doing it the way you wanted it done. You know, and so that was kind of the birth of it. And I went back to school, started learning about different religions, different things or whatnot. But a good friend of mine and my wife's, I had known she had dabbled in it or whatnot. And finally I said, I need you to show me. And she did. We were together when I bought my first deck. Um, you know, different things like that. So, and the reverend part was I had been around ministers my whole life. I now have a master's degree. I went back to school at 50 with a GED and went for 7 straight years and got my master's degree in social work counseling and that kind of stuff. And another 2 years getting my license from the state. I didn't embrace the reverend. I never embraced the term psychic. It scared me. And then finally, other people I was working with said, Rob, you need to embrace who you are. You have a message. And I got to thinking, you know, a lot of these preachers that we, you know, use the term reverend for have no education or an education that was only given to them through a non-accredited school or whatnot. And I realized, you know what? I have a message. I have the ability. I have the ordination. I embraced it. So that's kind of where this all started, trying to give it to you in a in a 60-year nutshell, you know.
Kind of interesting. I stopped at certain points. Like, so you had that angelic experience on the soccer field with your father, which sounds like that was quite life changing in a sense, to be able to confront him like that with love.
Absolutely. But, yeah,
so,
no, it was my pivot point. It was really where, and I had grown up with so much anger. I mean, like I said, I was a police officer for right at 14 years. If somebody wanted to fight, even in school, I don't know how many times I got suspended for fighting, and my mom hid it, you know, from my dad. But it was one of those things where I was carrying around all this anger. And at that moment, a lot of that anger just released. And I was like, I don't have to fight this. You know, I don't. And from that point, I started walking away going, a lot of the stuff you thought was your fight, it's not. It's the other person's. It's their anger to deal with.
Right. Absolutely. So interesting. So you have a very interesting background to go from police work, you know, to the intuitive, to the metaphysical, to trusting your gut. Did you use your intuition in your police work?
Oh my God, more than what I wanted to know. Okay. To settle arguments with, I worked for 2 different departments over a span of 4 years or 14 years. And whenever there was like neighbor problems or stuff like that, they would call me at home. You need to go talk to these people. Because I could just break it down. I had this way to, I could feel what was going on, my intuition. I could look into their anger wasn't really at each other. It was somebody else. And I was able to pull that in. You know, in interrogations, things like that. Yeah, it was just a knack. It was one of the things I had. But that, you know what I really enjoyed was that empathic ability that I didn't really know what I was doing, because I could feel that. You know, I could understand when somebody was giving me a story of something that went wrong in their life. I felt it. And I knew where they were. And I could tell if they were giving me a line of crap or if this was real. And but yeah, there was twice I even unknowingly predicted the death of two different individuals at two different times. And that came through smell. And everybody thought I was crazy. And each time that evening later on, we were cutting them out of cars. And yeah, it was not a pleasant thing. But then for a while, a lot of my partners, people like that, were like, okay, that's Rob. He's over there. We're just going to keep him over there for a while. But it was good. I've used my intuition my whole life, and I didn't realize,
Mhm.
and thank God now, even when I got into tarot helped me refine the intuition that God gave me that I already have. All right. And I started
Mhm.
realizing, this is just a way with the pictures and some structure to break through and understand the messages that are coming through. Because I still got a lot of unwinding to do, as a lot of other people. But then I started having guides and angels and could see, in my head, feel presence. I'm clairsentient, so it's all up here. And a lot of people say, yeah, it is. But I
I
had
love
three
that.
angels. Yeah, I had three angels. One that Bridget was with me when my wife and somebody was doing pictures of one of my angels, and he looks like Sam Elliott. Okay, I believe this one's Leonardo. It was just her version of seeing him right here. Um, but I have been told I have an angel, Leonardo. We call him Leonardo because I don't quite know who he is, but everybody that can see him says he looks like Leonardo da Vinci. Okay. I have another angel that I channel quite often that I was calling Ishmael. Um, and we believe now it is Serapis Bay. And because with the
Oh
vision
my
I
God.
had,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Very few
And
people know about Serapis Bey. I
I
did a painting of Serapis Bey. That's how I know about him. He's the master of miracles.
And you know what? He comes through. At first, I never saw his face. It was the long dark hair. It was kind of like I wasn't supposed to see him. I always thought he was going to wind up being like a Native American Indian when I finally saw him, but he was not. Okay. But there are scars, there are some things from doing battles. And then I found out it's believed that he was actually, he came from Atlantis, went to Egypt, and he actually was Leonidas in the 300, the Greek 300, the commander of at where 300 men took on thousands. So those scars would make sense to me. But he's all about regimen, routine, detail,
Hmm.
being true, stick to your guns, things like that. I hear
It's the
from him, and then
discipline of it.
yeah, and then the other day I was with April, and we got Mary really quick. Okay. And Mary is that nurturing side, taking care. And that's a big thing for me, is for people to take care of themselves. Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks, you know, and no wonder, that is part of it.
Interesting. So I'm clairsentient too. I taught a class yesterday on intuition, and it's really fun to teach people how to use the skills that they have. The thing about being clairsentient is it does give you an attitude. Now I understand where your tarot with an attitude, because you know that you know that you know, and there ain't anything that could come up against you. And I could also see it could make the fighter in you, because sometimes when I know that I know that I know, I don't always want people to challenge me. So I'm a little feisty about it. So that's why I'm relating to your attitude.
Yeah, no, and I would agree. I tried it different, okay? I really did try. I went to work for a mental health institute here in my area and started running their addictions program, one of their addictions program. Um, and I kept trying to do all this, and finally I went, these are street people. They've been through all of this. They've heard all these programs, and in essence, I'm like, they can cite this BS back to me, frontwards, backwards, and forwards. I have to find some way to reach in. And then what I thought, I was reading cards between, I had to individualize it, make them feel like I cared about them. Their story was different than anybody else's story. But then number
Right.
two, using the cards, I would get into that on an individual basis of where do I go. And one of the things it taught me was be me. And being me is full of sarcasm, being a smart ass. It's not, oh, I hope you feel better today. It's like,
Not
what are
all
you
love and
doing about?
light.
Yeah, no, it's not. Well, it is, but it's in Rob's way. It's that, well, what the hell are you doing about it? You're coming here, you're wanting me to help you. I'll help you, but what are you doing? And I found out people respected that. And I started turning around and, like with somebody with addictions, the first question I would ask them threw them for a loop. What did you enjoy about your addiction? And they're like, nobody's ever asked me that before. Well, if you
Wow.
didn't like it, you wouldn't have kept doing it. So let's find out what you liked about it. And that was the way I talked to people. I got in trouble for using foul language all the time and things like that. But I had a very high success rate at that point. And
Of course you do. Of course you do. It sounds like you tell it like it is. Now, I never got into tarot cards so much. I use oracle cards. So the thing about it, whether you're using, for everyone out there, whether you're using tarot or oracle, they're accurate. Depending on how aligned the reader is, the one pulling the cards, then they're pretty accurate. I'm always astounded by how accurate the cards are, how they point out the frailties or the upcoming situation or confirm what's going on. But so I actually pulled some of my tarot cards out, but now where are they? I thought I brought them in here. God, I couldn't even get them from the other room to here. I pulled them out of the box because they were deep in a box. There was a traditional tarot, and I also have the Thoth deck, which to me is sort of tarot-like, the Thoth deck. And because it's all about the different categories, wands, swords. So you teach a class, right, about tarot? Is that what I understand?
Yeah, one of the things I do, and I want people to understand, I don't do anything normal. It's one of my deals, okay? And when people start talking about the rules of tarot, it gets my goat, okay? Because it needs to be individualized as well. So I taught one class that's on the Ascended Masters. That's the Tarot Simplified. All right. And I just took people, the whole goal is to get people unafraid of the cards and give them a basis of a structure of tarot. Okay. Because you can pick
That's
up any tarot cards and read them, but they will confuse you because one book says this, one book says that. And what I really want people to do is get into that intuition and look at those basics. Like air is about conscious and is about communication. Swords is what a lot of people use for that. And one of the things I want you to learn is, okay, if you know this card is about communication and being in your conscious mind, what is the artwork telling you? If it's a 2, it's about duality, it's about partnerships. Is it about making decisions? And then look at the artwork and let it talk to you, because 3 different people can walk by that spread or whatever layout you've got going and look at it and pick up something completely different. Just like scripture. I can read a scripture, get something completely different. You can read the scripture and you think it went this way. It's for our own divination and our own intuitive side. So, one of the hardest things I tell people is put the book down. Okay? That's start trusting yourself. You'll use the book. You'll get going back to it. Hey, King of Vikings, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I see a lot of people in here. Greg, good to see you. Victoria, thank you for being here and letting me be part of your evening. I really appreciate it. Sorry I was late. I had all kinds of technical issues, but
That's
got
okay. I have to tell everyone, interrupt for a second. So I got banned on Facebook today because so guys, there's no way, if you want to share it to Facebook and all, that would be wonderful. I got banned on Facebook because of a show I was planning to do on Thursday where I mentioned false reality and escape the matrix as 5 words that I guess were not kosher. So, guys, that's why you're not seeing all your other friends here on the line today. I just wanted to let that know. So just visualize good things happening. All right.
Well,
So,
that could be me in the morning when I get up, because one of this morning my show I said something about escaping the metrics, living the 5D ascension, the ascension hacks, and things like that. So we'll see.
and I
You
said the
know,
word false reality.
ah,
False reality and escape the matrix. Okay, I'm saying it over and over and over again. Okay, but now we're just going to YouTube, and I'm seeing if I could practice these words on YouTube and be effective, because I either am going to change the name of the show or see what we're going to do. Anyway, right? We
yeah,
have to
you got to do what you got
censor.
to do. You
We have
know.
to censor our readings, folks. So I love what you do, Rob. Your energy is really powerful. Can I ask when your birthday is?
I'm an Aquarian, February 3rd, 1962. When I read, it was like the day after the emerging of the Aquarius thing. So I am an Aquarian through and through.
And you have freedom on your birth path. So you read the tarot cards, and I look at people's birthdays, what they're here to do, and does that resonate with their soul? And you were born under a 5, which is total and complete freedom, which of course you're going to speak your truth and teach your classes. And I love that style because, I don't fit into any box. And it's been very hard for me to I, yeah, I don't, when I study things, I have my own way. Sometimes I study backwards. I actually learn the advanced stuff before I go back to the beginning. And then I find I didn't know the beginning stuff, but I know the advanced stuff. So
Right.
that's how we,
Yeah, no, that's what a lot of people do. Get into it and find out, well, am I even going to handle the advanced stuff for what I do, or whatnot? And,
right.
so yeah, I don't blame you with that.
So I'm going to post here in the chat room down here the link for your Ascended Master program for the Tarot Simplified. So
All
people
right.
can find that. And I think I have posted on YouTube all of your links, but tell us a little bit more. How do you do your readings? Where, like,
What I'm doing now, Joan, and I appreciate you asking me that, I'm approaching it more from, instead of just sitting down reading cards, it's a connection with me, and I want people to feel that connection. So a lot of times what I'm doing now is I use my cards more for a verification of the download I'm getting.
mhm.
There were all kinds of sessions and everything else and everything on my site. Now there's one. It's spiritual guide and transformational coaching. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to help with. I will use as many cards as you want or as few cards as you want. I do use oracle cards as well. And again, how many times do you ever see somebody using oracle cards in the same reading with tarot cards? I do.
Me too.
Yeah. My wife and I, on Saturday, we do a show called The Magical Unknown. We do it together. And she will be reading from one deck. I will be reading from another. And this Saturday, I might not even be reading from a deck. I might just be using my intuition, hearing my guides, let her do the read. But I love to see how when Spirit's talking, the messages cross over from different decks. I mean, I'm sitting here, I've got a wall of oracle cards, and right next to it, another half wall of tarot cards. I've got cards all around me because I never know where Spirit's going to take me for whatever artwork they want to use. I'll pick up a deck and it'll be like all of a sudden another deck will catch my attention, and Spirit's going, no, I want you in that deck over there. So I grab that deck because all the artwork being what it is, it might be different. Um, the knight might be facing left in one deck, it might be facing right in the other. And if I pull the wrong deck, if I don't listen to my intuition and listen to what the angels are telling me and God is telling me, I may be talking about somebody's past when if I pulled the right deck, I need to be talking about their future. So it's learned. That's the reason a lot of tarologists, or whatever we want to call ourselves, tarot readers, have way more than one deck, because it's like something's calling me to use a different deck, and one of those things. So I teach intuition. What is your gut telling you? One of the first things I teach is be quiet, listen, set up. You can't just grab the cards. Whenever you want to ask a question, remember who you're asking. You know what? These are cardboard. They're not giving me any answers. They just have some pictures on them. All right. Spirit is helping me discern and helps me through these cards to look. So I've thrown a lot of people at satanic or whatnot. Well, follow me on a reading, because a lot of times the first thing I do is I pray. Our most gracious and loving Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, thank you for everything that you've given us. Thank you for everything that you've given me. And please keep me out of the picture and let our thoughts flow through, and may your heart. And I mean it, because it's spirit, it's guy. I just got the goosebumps. Something's touching me. One of my angels has wrapped their wings around me. It is great. It's something very intent or personal to me, to make sure you understand it's not me doing this, it's spirit. I have just put myself in a position to hear whatever messages come through. And anybody can do that.
I love that. And that is so true. That is so true. And I'm thinking that when you were younger, you probably didn't know that when you were in this stage of your life, you'd now be a tarot card reader.
No idea.
And
No idea.
and I find it very interesting that we have to break free from religion in order to find out who we really are, and even to have our connection with source and spirit and the angelic realms. We actually have to leave a controlled environment and learn on our own. So, and I like that you're not. So, one of the things I'm curious about, Rob, I haven't done a show like that where two people read,
Right.
but I can imagine it would be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a ball, especially when it's my wife or whatnot. You know, Bridget, the friend, and my wife are very good friends, and we went on a cruise. My best friend, one of my best friends, and I, he's a travel agent, Mr. Bruce, and we went on a cruise because she couldn't go, my wife couldn't go, and he's like, "We'll go together." He got a really good deal, and we were gone for a week, and they took over and actually did readings together, and it was girls' night. And yeah, there are a lot of things there that it is fun. It is fun. And I remind people, if we go to scripture, okay, Bible will tell you, where two or more are gathered, there I shall be in my name, there I shall be also. And I'm not going to wax all right wing, you know, religious, but the Bible is a divine book, and it's meant to be divinated. It's not, I don't go as far as what a lot of religions say the book is, but there's truths in there. There are things we need to learn, just like in the book of Tao, the Tao Te Ching. There are truths, there are philosophies. And anytime two people put their intentions in the same place, you get miracles,
Oh, yeah.
and it is absolutely fun to do with somebody else whose heart is in that right vibrational frequency.
Yeah, I can completely understand that. First of all, I love being in that space of completely channeling, and I can imagine that it would be just oodles and oodles and oodles of fun. And who knows, maybe one day we'll get to do it together, because we obviously have different styles, but we both communicate, and that could be a lot of fun to or not just a lot of fun. That's not right. I don't want to say it that way, guys. It could be produce a lot of healing for a lot of people and bring in a lot of information and freedom, you know.
But you know what? And anytime I do say it's a lot of fun, because whenever you're connecting and you're helping people and you feel that flow of energy and you're on top of it, and somebody goes, "Rob, that was right on. That's something I really needed to hear." Bangarang, what you put out the whole purpose of Bangarang, we are the Barefoot Bangarang tribe on YouTube with an attitude, or YouTube Taro with an attitude. We yell Bangarang, and I yell a lot because what you put out is what you're getting back. And some of that is if I'm putting that kind of energy out to other people and I see that helping, it better be fun. It better be okay. It's okay to have fun helping people,
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
But yeah, I understand. We got to be careful because we don't want people to think, oh, they're just throwing cards and like throwing darts in a
Right,
dartboard.
right. But
No,
it brings a blissful feeling. Like someone just commented on Miracle Monday last night. I get so blissed out when I do Miracle Monday that I swear I can hardly believe that I'm not flying. Okay. Like
right.
that you don't all see me sort of in your living room at that point. So it does. There's an energy of service that comes. So, Rob, if we take your classes, if we take your tarot class, will we be able to do readings for our friends and our loved ones?
It's what I always tell people is it takes practice, but start reading for yourself, asking questions, start simple, get there because yes, then you will be able to. But I know hundreds of people, if not thousands, are sitting there with a tarot deck, but they don't even know how to begin. Tarot Simplified, the first one, is just about learning the structure of the deck and how to get started. Where if you read the book, there's even a PDF course I can send anybody that takes the course. Let me know about what the numbers mean, what the suits mean, how to tell a story. So you can start out doing that way. Okay. Then I just did Tarot Simplified 2. I might need to redo that one. A lovely young lady by the name of Linda Grayshock. Uh, Greg was going to be there. He couldn't make it. Several of the people. So it was a one-on-one class that we recorded. So it got a little more personal. So I didn't, because there was only one person there, we let things go. But I'm thinking about doing another one again because I want it to be broader. And that is about how do you need to do spreads? How do you read cards? What's a card interpretation to you? And most importantly, individualizing this. And the
Mhm.
first time somebody says, you're supposed to, that should be a flag. Okay. They're your tools, just like the Bible.
Mhm.
Okay. They're your tools, just like the Tao Te Ching, just like a math book. What are you going to use them for? So you have to do what works for you, not what works for Rob. And that's one of the key things to success in anything. Follow the bouncing ball. But if there's something you know how to do quicker, better, it falls into your talents. There you go. I'm clairsentient. You're clairsentient. But there are some people that are clairaudient. You think you're hearing voices, but you are. You just don't know where they're coming from. You know, you're you know just all these different things. I ticked a lot of people off when, well, he's hearing voices, so we're going to put him in a psych unit. What voices? you know did anybody ask? you know we see somebody walking down the street, they're talking to themselves like, oh, they're not eating a fruitcake. Really? Are they? Because that's an assumption on our part where
Right.
society has tried to normalize people hearing things. So they didn't want to call me in on the consult or anything else because I'd be like, tell me what the voices are telling you. Now, if it's the dog barking, any of the stuff that becomes an obvious thing, okay, a little medication might be needed. We got some imbalance here. But if it's like somebody's telling me to help somebody, let's talk. Let's find out. He may not be crazy. All right. He may be literally being connected and being driven on a path to help somebody. Who is it? Now if they start telling me, oh yeah, I need to help Indira Gandhi, I don't even assume at that point that there's a problem. Where are you seeing? Oh, he walks beside me, just nobody else can see him. Well, you know what? If we're going to do, and straight line mental health wants to dismiss all that, okay? But one of the things I learned, and we're supposed to be being taught, is diversification and understanding this whole metaphysical world, this spirituality, this openness is something the old school never had to deal with. So now we need to embrace that thought of what's going on. Where are we at? You know, is this ruining your life? I get started and I can't stop. So I'll shut up.
Yeah, no, very, very interesting because I too have come to the realization that those who've been labeled crazy and who talk to guides and spirits are talking to people and they are having connection. And the only help you really should give them is to help them understand who they're talking to.
Right.
And you know, let's find out, because the truth is that Jesus very possibly can be walking, you know, learning so much about these other dimensions. And that's why Taro works, because it gets into that field of consciousness, that stream where all is known. And you have such a good attitude about it. I love your attitude. It's definitely a little rambunctious and it's out there and it's cutting edge. And I'd rather learn from you because I'm not like some people learn in a straight line, but intuitives don't. Intuitives, you know, they pick and choose what their brain gathers and they move more like this. And so I never responded well to teachers that had me, you know, go from one. I couldn't even sit still in class. I can't even sit still as an adult. So if I thought 10 looked better than one, I would study 10 and not one, you know. So I love that. And so I'm thinking that this class is a good foundation for people to take. I have I'm in all disclosure, guys, I am an ascended master also. And when Rob has me on his show, he uses his links. So this is how we work with each other to help get the
Absolutely.
programs out and to really excel in helping our fellow tarot reader here. So I encourage you, if you go look Rob up and use my link. Thank you very much. That is Dr. Joan Hamgarter. I was realizing I'm going to ask Jamie if she can change it to Joan of Angels, but I do have two names, guys. All right, Rob, I just loved having you here, and I
Thank
look
you.
forward.
Can I answer a question for King of
Oh,
Kings?
yes, it was up there. Yes, please. I forgot about the question.
No, that's okay. This is one of the questions that really got me, where I want people to know and what I'm talking about, rules and breaking away. I was raised a Baptist preacher's kid. There was nobody in my realm, okay, that I felt comfortable in talking to, because this was demonic and I was going to lose my soul.
Oh,
Okay. Who on earth was going, in my plan, was going to give me a set of tarot cards? So Bridget said, we need to go to a store. Me and her husband and my wife, we went and I picked out and bought my first set of tarot cards. That, to me, when you hear that, is another form. They're almost turning it into religion. You have to do this, you have to do that. No, you don't. Okay. No, you don't. Did Spirit tell you to talk and let's check this out? Then guess what? Do what Spirit's telling you to do.
yeah.
But you absolutely can pick your own cards. They can be confusing. So be very, very careful. And if you want my advice or whatnot on the cards, you can reach out to me on tarotwithanattitude.com. I've got a site where you can send me a message or whatnot. But no, you don't. And that's some of the stuff where I try to break through. You don't have to do a 12 card Celtic cross spread and all this. I never use it. I don't. I will ask a question and literally say, what do I need to know about today? All right. And I'll cut a card and go, oh, you know what? I need to spend some time alone. I have the Hermit card. I need to listen to my decisions and what's going on and look into my future and see where I need to go today. Yeah.
Right.
Tarot reading, it's one of those things.
Right. I start every day with a reading, and I agree with you. All right, Rob. Well, I appreciate that. By the way, my very first deck was gifted to me, and it was that big Thoth deck by Aleister Crowley, which sometimes that deck intimidated the crap out of me. Just didn't seem like, it's an Egyptian deck, but there's some intenseness in that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why it's easy to find decks now to get started with. And
Yes.
I'll come back sometime and we'll just do a thing about how to pick a deck. Okay.
Well, it'd be fun to see your collection of decks. I had a huge collection of decks. Now, I don't know what's happened to them all, but I'm collecting again. And I have my own card deck as well. All right, Rob. So we will see you soon. I'm so glad you came. Guys, check out the Ascended Masters program. Take his class, take class 1 and maybe class 2. All right. Thank you very much, Rob. And I will see you very soon. God, that was amazing, guys. I really loved that. I love talking to other people that kind of do a lot of what I do as well. So, guys, this has been another lovely chat. I hope you start using your intuition. And because I gave that intuition class yesterday. So start using your intuition, whether you're clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, tap in. Spirit has got you. You are connected. We're part of a world where, yes, there are angelic beings right here and our guides that are here to help us. So I am Joan of Angels. Go check me out. Check out my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and share. Share it on Facebook for me if you don't mind. Go and check out my joanofangels.com. Get that free ebook on your soul purpose, and let's talk soul purpose and why you're here. And then check out our guest, Rob Lee, at the Ascended Master Store, his Taro Simplified programs. And we will see you all next time. Thank you so much. All right.